Hey Scorpios, welcome to my channel. It's the Tipsy Intuitive, here to do your general love reading for February 1st through the 15th. I hope that you guys are doing well. Grab your sips and let's get into it. So, as I was tapping into your energy, I heard a couple of messages. The first one was so cold, and the second one was manifest and be still. So we'll see how those messages fit into your overall reading. I started out by pulling a couple of oracle cards to get a general sense of the energy surrounding you guys. The first one that came out is you deserve love and you are lovable. The second card that came out for you guys is meditation brings answers. So off the break, we are kind of in alignment with the messages that I've been hearing, but let's see what the tarot cards have to say for you all. We'll start by pulling your current energy, and there were a ton of cards that just flipped over. I won't take all of them, but we'll see what comes out. So your current energy, we have the Lovers that came out a little bit sideways. We'll take it that way. For the energy that's surrounding you, we have the Knight of Chalices. For challenges, obstacles, what might be hidden, we have Strength in reverse, and we also have the Empress. For advice from Spirit, we have the Hierophant. And for the potential outcome, we have the Two of Cups in reverse. So we'll just reverse that there. So let's pull some clarifiers from another tarot deck and see if we can get a little bit more information for you guys. For your current energy, okay, we have the Wheel of Fortune that also came out sideways. Put that a little reverse. For the energy that's surrounding you, okay, we have one that flipped out. We have the Ten of Coins in reverse. For challenges, obstacles, and what might be hidden, we have the Ace of Wands in reverse. And I just heard false start. Advice from Spirit, we have the Sun. And for the potential outcome, we have the Ace of Wands upright. Okay, let's grab just a few oracle cards and see if there are any additional messages from Spirit for you guys. Okay, we're off and running. We have Hammer, and we also have Cassette for your current energy. For the energy that's surrounding my Scorpios, we have Heartbroken. For challenges, obstacles, and what might be hidden, we have the Butterfly. For advice from Spirit, oh, we have a couple that came out. We have Engagement Ring, and we also have the Golden Mirror. And for the potential outcome, we have Boat. All right, so I think that's enough for us to get started, so let's go. So as I'm getting into your energy and thinking about the messages that came through for you guys, cold, you deserve love, be still. It feels like your love life, and this can be romantic or not, you know, love comes in a lot of different forms, but it seems as though you're asking yourself why. And I get this very heavy feeling that you may not think, based on your prior experiences, that you are not worth being loved or not worth having the type of relationships that you truly, truly want. And pretty sure that that's absolutely not the case. As human beings, we are absolutely innately worth having love around us. I think it's what keeps us alive. So I'm feeling like the overall energy is that you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to figure out why you don't have what you want in terms of love. So getting into the tarot, for your current energy, we have the Lovers in reverse. We have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And two oracle cards came out. The first one is Hammer, sabotage, rebuilding, interrogation, repetitive, persistent, and working on it. And the second card that came out for you guys is Cassette, outdated thinking, conditioning, replaying events over in your head. And so, if you hadn't noticed, the two oracle cards are actually a very, very similar energy in that there's a lot of repetition and that things seem to be on repeat. It feels like, again, you don't have that love that you want and you're looking for things to change, but you're sort of on repeat in that you keep experiencing the same things over and over. Maybe same person, different body, same situation, different person. And it feels incredibly heavy, and it feels very frustrating, and it almost seems to mirror your sort of life reading in that you've put in the work, you're trying to, and you're just not getting exactly what it is that you want. So the energy that's around you is the Knight of Chalices, the Ten of Coins in reverse, and heartbroken, deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, and mourning. So with this, I feel like at some point there was somebody around you that maybe had a little cup of love to give to you, but they thought that an interaction with you, a relationship with you, was not stable, that it wouldn't lend itself to long term stability or security. Now, whether that was true or not, I'm not sure. But in the end, this person made the decision to walk away. And looking at the energy that was on your side, where we have sabotage, outdated thinking, conditioning, it may have been something that occurred that was a trigger to you that made them think, okay, no, this isn't going to work for me. Maybe it was a bump in the road that was a little bit too much for them. And they sort of withdrew their offer because they didn't think that it was going to lead to anything stable, that they maybe couldn't overcome, whatever had happened to you in the past. They couldn't convince you that they weren't, you know, like others. It almost feels like a little bit of self-sabotage in this sort of, swinging first before you get swung on is what I just heard. So what we have for the challenges, obstacles, and what might be hidden, we have Strength in reverse. We have the Empress. We have the Ace of Wands in reverse. And we also have the Butterfly. Relationship evolving to the next phase, healing the inner child, and growth. How do you move past this? How do you move on to the next phase where you are a whole person, that you are somebody who you believe is deserving of love and other people believe that you're deserving of love? How do you do that when you're so tired? How do you remain patient while you go through this process of understanding and finding answers into why things may not have worked in the past and what you can do differently going forward? How do you get to that place of transformation where you're able to heal and welcome in the next iteration of your life in terms of love? So What we have for advice from Spirit, we have the Hierophant, we have the Sun, and then two cards came out from the Oracle. We have Engagement Ring, Engagement, Partnership, Commitment, Eternity, Completion, and Union. And we also have the Golden Mirror, self-absorbed, narcissist, one-sided relationship, and love bombing. So with these cards, I feel like Spirit is telling you that if you take a little bit of time and go within, this is again, this is mirroring your life reading, which is actually pretty interesting. But Spirit is saying go within because you have the answers. You know, there's stability that's here for you. There's happiness that can come, but you need to trust yourself. And I think a lot of the situations that have happened in the past were not necessarily of your doing. You might have been dealing with someone, I'm not going to say that they were a narcissist because that requires a whole lot of analysis by a professional, but perhaps they had these selfish tendencies that they projected onto you. And it's something that you took inward. And by doing that, you sort of kept repeating the pattern. And this may be Spirit's way of saying you need to understand that it was not your fault. This was not anything to do with you. This was the other person. Focus on what it is that you truly want. Because I think that you have what's needed inside of you to be able to discern in the future who is there in your for your highest good and who will act in your best interest. Make sure that you're not giving more than you're receiving. Make sure that the person that you interact with is there for the same things that you want. And I think that you'll figure out what it is that you want through meditation and sort of a lot of introspection and figuring out what your ideal life in terms of love looks like. Because you deserve it. You're a lovable person, And once you accept that, it'll be easier to weed out the people who are not viewing you in that same light. So what we have for the potential outcome, we have the Two of Chalices in reverse. We have the Page of Wands, and we also have Boat. Receiving what you need, progression, arriving, moving on, closure issues. So with these cards, I will be honest, I'm not seeing a relationship that's going to happen next week or, in the next 2 weeks for, when this reading is really designed to focus on. But what I do see is a new spark being ignited. And I think that that is a spark of happiness and optimism and knowing what it is that you want. And with the Boat card, I also think that that spark is going to propel you forward because you understand now better what it is that you need from people around you in terms of love, and you will get it. You will get it. Your boat will come into the harbor, right? And you'll move on from this experience. You'll be stronger, you'll be more self-aware, and I think you will be ready to receive the goodness that is actually waiting for you. Okay? So let's pull one last oracle card. See if there are any final messages from Spirit for you. Okay. And we have two. So the first one that came out is relationship patterns. It takes strength to recognize the need for change. And the other one that came out, get to know each other. Learn to meet another's need for love. So with these cards, I think there's a bit of optimism and there's a bit of caution that Spirit has for you. So the first lesson that you might need to take from this is to recognize the patterns that you've had in your prior relationships, right? Looking at hammer, rebuilding, repetitive, persistent, and then we have cassette, conditioning, replaying events over in your head. So I think that spirit is telling you to take a minute, through meditation and being quiet, and to evaluate the patterns that you've had in your prior relationships and recognize what's worked, what hasn't, what's been on repeat, and then take the steps that you need to change that. And Spirit is also saying that instead of rushing in potentially to someone who is love bombing or, telling you everything that you want to hear, but maybe not necessarily showing it at the same time, make sure to take time to get to know someone's heart so that you know whether or not that's someone that you should invest your time and energy in. Okay? So I will leave it there, dear Scorpios. I hope that this helped you. I hope that this resonated somehow. If it did, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future readings. In the meanwhile, stay safe, stay healthy, and I am sending you all huge hugs.